Good morning. Let me call a meeting to order. This is the time and place for the Planning Hearing Officers hearings for July 18th, 2012. My name is Wolfgang Kraus, and I'll be your hearing officer today. We have two cases, a conditional use permit and a parking reduction permit. And the exhibits for those cases are located on the board directly behind me. Now, with regard to the conditional use permit on the agenda, under the provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.42 of the Glendale Municipal Code, a conditional use permit can be granted if all four of these findings are present. And they are, number one, that the proposed use will be consistent with the elements and objectives of the general plan. Two, that the use and its associated structures and facilities will not be detrimental to the public health or safety, the general welfare, or the environment. That the use, number three, the use and facilities will not adversely affect or conflict with adjacent uses or impede the normal development of surrounding property. And four, that adequate public and private facilities, utilities, landscaping, parking spaces, and traffic circulation measures are or will be provided for the use. And there are additional considerations if the conditional use permit involves alcohol. And with regard to the parking reduction permit, that has to meet the procedures and criteria set forth in subsection A of section 30.32.070 and table 30.32-B with qualifying project features. Now, if the evidence presented each of the application meets the criteria described, then the case can be approved. We can impose conditions in either case as well, and if the findings of fact are not evident, the request will be denied. Now, with regard to public notice for these cases, notification was accomplished by the use of public notices, which were mailed to property owners and also occupants located within 500 feet of the subject property, physically posted on the site in question, and placed in the local newspaper, in addition to being on the city's website. Now, the hearing is going to proceed as follows. First, I'll read the description of the application. Then I'll have the case planner give a brief overview of the case, give an analysis, and make a recommendation. Then I'll ask the applicant to come forward. Again, all speakers should give their name and mailing address, and then the applicant can make their case within a 15-minute time limit. After that, I'll listen to anyone else that wishes to speak either in favor of or in opposition to the application within a 3-minute time limit. And then, if necessary, at the end, I'll give the applicant an opportunity to address concerns raised by previous speakers within a 5-minute time limit. After that, I'll close the case, take it under submission, and I'll be issuing a decision in writing shortly after that. And that decision will be in the form of a letter which is sent to the applicant and to everybody that either sent us written correspondence or appears here today and whose mailing address we also have. Now, the date of the decision is the date that's on the letter itself. Now, under the appeal provisions of Title 30, Chapter 30.62 of the Glendale Municipal Code, the decision may be appealed to the Planning Commission within 15 days of the decision date, and notice of the appeal shall be filed with our Permit Services Center here in Room 101 in this building. If you haven't already done so, fill out one of these speaker cards and provide it to staff. In addition to being on television, we're also recording. Are we still recording on tape? Okay. As part of the public record. Okay, let me start with the first case today. This is at 6410 San Fernando Road, conditional use permit case number PCUP 1208860. Applicant is Vahe Alex and Azatui Yapunjian, and they are also the property owners. This is an application for a conditional use permit to allow the sale, service, and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at a full-service restaurant at 6410 San Fernando Road in the C3 Commercial Service Zone, described as portion of Lot 5, Block 108 Rancho Providencia and Scott Tract. So let me ask Mr. Kiesel to give a brief overview and then a recommendation.
Do you also want to look at? Right. Do you also want to look at the departmental comments?
No, I think everything that's relevant, it should be in the staff report.
Okay. All right.
So I didn't see any.
All right.
If you want to mention specific ones, but I don't think there are any unusual.
There weren't, aside from the police department, there weren't any other.
Okay.
All right, good morning. The applicant is requesting approval of a conditional use permit to allow the sales, service, and on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at a full-service restaurant, Ambrosia, which is currently not in operation, located at 6410 San Fernando Road. The approximately 20,000 square foot site is developed with a commercial building and located on the north side of San Fernando Road between Sonora and Roberta Avenues. Staff believes that the findings can be made to support approval of the conditional use permit to allow the alcohol sales at a full-service restaurant. The sales, service, and consumption of alcoholic beverages will be consistent with the elements and objectives of the general plan. The land use designation of the subject site is community/services commercial. Restaurants are typically found and are an important component in commercial areas of the city. Serving alcoholic beverages in conjunction with the food service is a common ancillary use for restaurants. The proposed on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at a full-service restaurant will not be detrimental to the safety or public welfare of the neighborhood in general. The restaurant has in the past served alcoholic beverages. No calls for police service or complaints to neighborhood services have been reported, which would indicate that the use adversely impacts nearby commercial or residential uses. The restaurant is located in a census tract where 5 on-site establishments is the recommended limit. Currently, there are 5 in this area. While Part 1 crime statistics in this area of the city are above the citywide average, the high concentration of commercial uses may partly explain this statistic. Additionally, typically, alcohol service or sales at a full-service restaurant don't increase the crime rate in the surrounding area. So if it's a full-service restaurant that includes alcohol service with food, typically that doesn't impact crime in the area. The proposed on-site consumption of alcoholic beverages at a restaurant will not adversely affect or conflict with adjacent uses or impede the normal development of the surrounding property. There are really no public facilities located near the site. The surrounding area is already developed, and any redevelopment of nearby properties should not be impacted, given that the restaurant use is a permitted use in the C3 zone, and that serving alcohol is a common practice in restaurants. Adequate public and private facilities are provided for the use and surrounding area, and serving alcohol is not anticipated to require any new public facilities. As I did mention in the staff report, this establishment in the past has operated as a banquet hall without proper approvals. Just to be clear, the current application is requesting approval of a conditional use permit to serve alcoholic beverages at a full-service restaurant. Should the applicant at some point want to change the operation to a banquet hall, approvals of new conditional use permits would be required for the banquet hall use as well as for the alcohol service, and approvals of a parking reduction and or parking use permit would be necessary, as the site currently does not have enough parking to accommodate a banquet hall use. So again, just to be clear, the conditional use permit is to request service of alcoholic beverages at a full-service restaurant. Staff recommends approval of the conditional use permit to allow alcohol service at Ambrosia with the draft conditions contained in the staff report.
Thank you, Roger. One question. The existing conditional use permit that was granted to serve alcohol at a full-service restaurant, what was the expiration date on that?
Offhand, I'll have to pull the file. I don't know. It's expired.
Sometime this, it's already passed?
I believe so.
Okay, then let me ask the applicant. I don't see the applicant listed here. Mr. Alajajan, are you going to represent the applicant? Okay. Yes, thank you.
Yes, good morning, Mr.
Morning.
Kraus. My name is, for the record, Aram Alajajian. The address is 320 Arden, City of Glendale. I'm the project architect of the original building, and I'm representing the applicant is here, Mr. Vayapunjan. We know we're running a little late here with the broadcast and all
plenty
that.
of time.
I want to make it very short. You know, the restaurant has been in operation since 1995. We pulled the building permits 94, been under construction 95, and the September of 95 it opened the doors. And since 96 it has been serving an alcohol along with the food, and it's been very successful operation and a part of this community. What I would like to see that the approval of this CUP, so the very much needed, consumption of alcoholic beverages is along with the food to go. So the reopening of the Ambrosia would be they've been in basically refreshing it up. Last 3 or 4 months. Now they need to reopen this, and the alcohol is very important for any restaurant in the area to be for the operation, as to be equal with the rest of there are 5 or 6 restaurants in the area, so could be competitive. And we concur with all the conditions of approval. It's acceptable to us, and we'd like to ask your approval. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Do you know enough about the proposed operation that I can ask you the questions?
I believe so.
Okay. Obviously, this establishment has had a checkered past. And we've had some issues with operating not according to what we approved. So you're saying the applicant's saying it's going to be a full-service restaurant. Well, they said that before, and they didn't operate that way. Tell me a little bit about how they're going to operate, the hours of operation, whether or not they're going to have any entertainment, any dancing, the type of alcohol. We're talking full beer, wine, and hard liquor? Right.
Well, let me just go back a little bit on your comment that had a checkered past. 2008 or 9, the Ambrosia restaurant has hired an operator who apparently, took another path that from the opening of this restaurant has been operating as a full-service restaurant. So he entertained some private parties and banquets, which were later date became an issue. Now the operator is gone. We understand that at his time when he came to renew the conditional use permit, it has been appealed and went back to the planning commission and so forth. But we want to go back to its original state of the restaurant operation. And it will be operated as normal hours from 11 a.m. Till 2 a.m. in the morning. I think it was stated.
Are these the hours that are on the
on the menu? I'm sorry?
The hours are as proposed on the menu that you submitted?
Yes. I think Mondays they would be closed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Tuesday through Friday,
Yeah.
11 to 8, Saturday through Sunday, 11 to 2 a.m.?
Right.
12 a.m.
12 a.m. 2 a.m. actually, it should have been.
It should be 2?
Yeah. I think.
Yeah, I believe that's what the application said as well.
Yes, whatever was in the application, that's
Okay.
the accurate number. Could be a mistype over there.
So how about dancing, yes or no?
It is. It was permitted. We do still have the license of dancing and entertainment, the music, and it's confined within the building. There's no speakers outside, loudspeakers or anything like that. They're DJs, sometimes one or two man performance, at the premises. It depends. Mainly they're weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
What's the
In case they
size
don't
of
have any.
what's the size of the dance floor?
I believe it is marked on the plan. It's 20 by 20 area,
20 by 20?
something like that. If I don't recall that exactly.
You think, is it this area
It's
here?
that white area, right?
It's not really labeled as a dance floor, it's this?
Yeah, it's a portable floor. We place it as it's needed. Weekdays, sometimes this portable floor will be removed to accommodate more tables and chairs if it's needed, or rearrange the seating.
Let me take a time out for a
Sure.
sec. Roger, do you know how big the dance floor is, that white area? You scaled that off? Yeah, let's figure out, because you have to be careful, otherwise you become a nightclub, and that's a
Yeah.
whole different animal that you didn't apply for, so.
Yeah. Well, whatever was the limits for the restaurant, we will be
Okay.
doing that.
Okay. The menu that you just submitted either yesterday or today, on it, on the back says, all orders will be available for pickup only? What does that mean?
Oh, well, that means if you can order a food, for your family and come and pick it up, something like that. Just
So
like
this menu is
any-
only for pickup?
No, that's the regular menu that provided to customers daily basis.
Lunch and dinner?
Yes.
Okay. How about the seating plan? You've got an awful lot of tables that seat 8. Why so many that seat 8? Looks like a banquet hall again.
No, we had a conversation with the planning staff a few days ago,
Yeah?
and as I understood from the owner-operator in this case, there are similar restaurants in San Fernando Boulevard, in Burbank, or in Glendale area, with an entertainment, especially the weekends. You get to have orders of family of 10 or 20. They come in, to celebrate birthday or to be a part of that entertainment and dancing with their dinner. So we have to have tables of 8, 10, 6, 4, or 2. So that's what the arrangement is shown over there. So that's the type of seating would be at the weekend nights, basically. But they're removable, so it could always be replaced, with a less table, or it could be joined to have like 20 people getting together and then on a longer table like that.
How about the catering activity? They're not proposing that anymore?
No, that's that we spoke this morning again. That has been completely eliminated. That was the operator that previously was.
Okay. Because in the
his
past,
business.
there was testimony that they needed that to survive. So that's not the case anymore? Okay. Okay, I guess I don't have any more questions. Thanks, Aaron.
Thank you.
Sorry. That, the white area in the plans is roughly 14 by 28.
So what's the square footage on?
392 square feet,
That's 192 square feet too big,
correct.
so that'll have to be modified.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
This is portable dance floor, which 4x4 segments of the
Okay.
wood flooring put together. We can,
You can
minimize it
change
as is
that.
required. So.
Right,
Okay.
you'll.
Yeah, that's not a permanent floor there, and it's it could be reduced to any size, even lesser than what it requires.
Yeah, because you got live entertainment, you've
Yeah.
got alcohol, and you got a dance floor over 200,
Yeah.
which is a
No,
nightclub
not a
by
ni-
definition.
Nightclub, no, it's not.
Yeah, but it would be
By our
if-
definition.
the way you're showing it, yeah.
Okay,
Not even,
yeah,
okay.
thank you.
Okay, and we have one more card from Victor Contreras. Good morning. And give your name for the record, please.
Victor Daniel Contreras,
Go ahead.
I live in 1021 in Sonora.
Okay.
My house is it's got the alley real close to that place,
Okay.
and the architect just said there are too many places where they already sell alcohol. So in that case, we don't need any more places because I will be the first affected for that because there are too many in the alley. There are too many small places that is very easy to hide, stairs, and my next neighbor house, there is no fence. The garages are wide open, and I've been seeing people that go in and out from the restaurant to the garages that are wide open, and nobody say nothing.
So you've seen this in the past
Yes,
from this establishment? You think
Yes.
customers from this establishment,
yes.
they go into the apartment garages?
There is no doors in the
Right,
garage.
it's carports or open
Just
garages? So
car-
customers wander over there and in the past?
Yeah,
You've seen that?
They go and they smoke.
Yeah.
They smoke and they go out. And
But these are customers from this establishment,
Yeah.
you're saying?
I think so because they go there. They got close there. You know.
Okay.
I don't happen to see them to go in the door in there because
But they don't live there?
no, they don't live
They don't
there.
live there, okay.
And I think with the selling of alcohol, this will be worse. You know, combining smoke with alcohol, and sometimes I am afraid to go to the alley, and sometimes smells. I think they urinate in the pool, in the car pools, and I see too many cars just parking in the close to my
In the other parking lot?
no in the street in the
In the
alley.
street? Yeah.
The alley.
Parking
So
in the alley?
Just they are parking, you know. And I think I am afraid to hit when I go and into my garage in the alley. I am afraid to hit them, their cars, and
Okay. If you could conclude, please.
yes,
Thank you.
and same thing happened in the street. There is no place where to park for my neighbors and my boys when they go and visit
Okay.
me. And there is too much traffic,
Okay, you identified yourself as a homeowners association representative. What homeowners association do you represent?
No one.
None? Because, okay, well then you're
Probably just a neighbor.
just a neighbor then. Okay, all
I've
right.
been living there since 1973, almost 40 years.
Okay,
And it was too much difference. By that time, it was quiet city, quiet area, and now it's a lot of honking, and too much noisy. People speak too loud, and the cars are all jam.
yeah,
And another,
yeah.
and-
Parking issues in the neighborhood. Okay, thank you very much. Aram, did you want to address anything that the gentleman said? First of all, let me ask this. This parking layout, that's what's there now, and you're going to keep it that way, right?
Correct.
You aren't going to go to that
No.
valet parking?
That was done for a different purpose,
Okay,
and we spoke
all
about
right,
it.
so this is it?
This is it.
Okay,
Yeah, and it's striped like this.
Right.
It could be verified.
okay. Anything you want
Yeah, I
to say
just
to
wanted to
conclude?
clarify a few things here. I
Okay.
think, a gentleman's address that spoke before me, it's on Sonora, which
Right.
is actually abutting the Bank of America property.
Mm-hmm.
Between the alley and the Ambrosia restaurant, there's a long parking lot
Right.
which belongs to Bank of America.
Right.
So it's adjacent to his property. And the Ambrosia restaurant's parking, if you look at the map, it's a midsection. It's not in the Sonora side. It's in the midsection of San Fernando Road. And there's already a current restaurant at the corner of the Roberta, which also has a parking facing the alley. We haven't had any experience in the past when we heard from anybody that customers are parking in apartments or other people's garages.
Well, I think he thinks that people are loitering there from the businesses.
Yeah.
That's not so much.
But as I spoke to the owner.
Yeah.
Now, we haven't had any police complaints about the parking being parked on the apartment properties and so forth. But, we will be watching,
Right.
In the days to come, when it's open again for the operation. And I think that those things could be taken care of. And I would invite the neighbors to talk to the property owner and
Okay.
make this business as part of their livelihood,
The parking is going to remain, they're not going to have any valet service, are they?
Not at this point.
First come, first serve in the back, open to everybody?
Yes, it's open to everybody. And just wanted to tell you that recently, the property owner been in contact with a church who's willing to designate another 50 parking spaces. He already leased that space, but that will be coming up later.
Yeah, if that's the
That's-
case, we'll need a
that's different.
parking use permit,
Yes.
even if it's not required parking, even if it's extra.
Right.
If they
But
do that.
it's still in
we'll
the making.
Yeah,
It's
we'll
not-
still need a
nothing that we
parking
should
use
consider
permit.
at this hearing. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right, thank you. Then I'll close this case, take it under submission, and I'll be issuing a decision in the very near future. Thank you. All right, let me open the next case at 3470 Ocean View. And this is parking reduction permit case number PPRP 1209865. And the applicant is Bill Kempton. Owners are George Pondella and Michelle Pondella. And this is an application for a parking reduction permit proposing to provide 11 on-site parking spaces where 23 are required for a physical education use in a 2,250 square foot building located at 3470 Ocean View Boulevard in the C3 Commercial Service Zone, described as lots 26, 27, and 28, Block 28, Spar Heights tract. Okay, Mr. Baxter.
Yes, sir.
Give us a little staff report on this case.
Yes.
Thank you.
Regarding the project description, I believe you mentioned some of this already. The 7,500 square foot property is located at the southeast corner of Ocean View and Boulevard and Sunview Drive. It's in the Spar Heights Business District, identified in the North Glendale Community Plan. The building itself is a single-story, 250 square foot building, and it's located adjacent to an alley to the east, and there's a large vacant
Hello, I'm Tom.
appears to be the first time as a gasoline station in 1946. At that time, there was no parking requirements. Then it appears that subsequent uses, which were of a retail nature, were auto-related, such as tire repair and auto repair, radiator shop. The most current use was a silkscreen company. The zoning code identified that as a use not allowed in that zone, and so there was a use variance to allow it, though in the decision letter it was recognized as a retail type of establishment, but there was still a use variance for that. Now,
Did that have an expiration date on it at all?
No, sir, it didn't.
Okay.
It was in 1978, October
Okay.
78. Now, the properties immediately surrounding this property on Ocean View and across the alley are C3 zones, so it's all commercial zones. Beyond that, to the west, a block over from there, it's residential, and you can see that on the zoning map. There were comments from city departments that I can get into as part of the analysis of the project. The applicant's requesting to open a physical instruction establishment for youths up to age 18, and the goal is to teach them and coach them on lifelong benefits of a healthy lifestyle. Their project will include group classes, maximum 10 students or fewer. It'll be private lessons, sports-specific training, and it'll be for 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And we have exhibits. If you, in your file, there's some exhibits, A through D, and they discuss these particular topics. For instance, Exhibit B describes the typical day from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Exhibit A was a one-day hourly street survey that was conducted. Exhibit C is a one-day survey of a public parking lot to the north, just behind the properties on Honolulu. And Exhibits D are about the business and of support from neighbors and business groups in the community. Now, staff reviewed all the exhibits, talked with the applicant, went to the site, discussed this with the traffic engineering department as well. And we will support the project. That's what our recommendation is. Because we feel that in this particular case, even though the applicant is requesting, by code, is requesting to provide 11 spaces as opposed to the 23, they are working with staff to fine-tune their program to reduce the potential negative impacts of parking and circulation in the area, because they're only going to have 1-hour classes with 10 students per class. There will be a 30-minute period of time between classes to allow one class to leave, another class to arrive. And The facility is not going to be open to have anyone just drop in and take classes. That's how they proposed it to us. The applicant is also going to stripe the parking lot with 11 spaces that meet current code with landscaping. We spoke with traffic engineering. As noted in the staff report, they reviewed the project. Some of these thoughts that they had, some of these thoughts themselves, and discussed it with staff. Staff discussed it with the applicant. The applicant agreed, and that's what we are right now.
Okay.
Neighborhood Services did have concerns about the parking reduction, but with the parking reduction, because there is a parking shortage up there. We received about 5 emails, all expressing the same thing. Not all of them were in opposition, though, but almost uniformly, everybody said there's a serious parking problem up there. Part of the problem is that there's a 2-hour parking limit on the street. We still feel that we can support the project because this is, again, a 1-hour program that would have 1 teacher, possibly 2, but 1 teacher and 10 students, which would be 11 parking spaces, possibly 12 if there's a second teacher, but my understanding, according to the applicant, there's only going to be 1. So that would mean 11 cars would have their own spaces on the site. That's part of this Taylor thing, see? It's only going to be 1 hour long with that interval to help ease traffic in and out. So we still think that works fairly well at this time, and not all the participants will park on the site, because these are going to be for kids. Most likely some of the parents will come and leave and just drop the kids off. So that was another argument that was made that we think was a relatively accurate argument. Another thing the applicant mentioned was that the actual floor area for this being used is 1,200 square feet of the 2,250. So staff thought that might be a little bit restrictive. Even when we looked at it, it comes out around 1,800 square feet if you look at the whole open area, as we traditionally do when we look at assembly-type uses,
Yeah.
which is separate from this.
So really, about 1,800 is available for
Yeah, it's
somebody.
available, yeah. So if you look at it, it is available. But even then, we feel that based on what the applicant's proposing, that we'll be able to support the project. And then, of course, we have our findings, which we have presented with 10 conditions. The findings pretty much just reflect everything that I've stated. The conditions, I would like to point to condition number 4 and 5 and 10, because
Okay.
those are pretty much outside the normal standard boilerplate conditions that are with all projects. That number 4 is limiting the class size, the number of requiring them 30 minutes between classes, and a note that the planning hearing officer will have continuing jurisdiction to adjust the number of students per class and the number of minutes between classes should the parking and traffic circulation become a nuisance in the area. And of course, number 5 is sort of an amended boilerplate one, that any expansion or modification of the facility which intensifies the physical instruction use shall require new parking reduction permit application. We go and describe what that is, which is pretty much reflecting the same thing that I just mentioned in number 4. And number 10 was a concern that was expressed by a neighbor who called, and it is a legitimate one that should have been addressed all along by Neighborhood Services, that they cannot park commercial vehicles on the site. I noted that in the staff report, and we have it as a condition here too. I noted that when I went out in the field, no commercial anything other than the vehicles used exclusively for this particular use.
Okay.
And there'll be a code enforcement otherwise if not. That pretty much concludes my presentation.
All right, thank you. So
And
let
the
me
exhibits are on the
Yeah.
board behind.
let me call Mr. Kempton, applicant. You didn't put your name on the card. Can I fill that in for you? Okay. Okay.
My name is Bill Kempton. I am the applicant for the project located at 3470 Ocean View Boulevard. Chris pretty much summed up our total scope of what we want to do
Okay.
there regarding the physical education classes. First, I'm going to talk about the on-site parking. Our our schedule, our tailored schedule permits the parents and the guardians to drop their kids off in that 30-minute window and pick them up later.
Okay.
We have directional parking from the Ocean View to Sunview with arrows and so forth to make sure that the traffic flows through there.
Okay.
And some of the classes are not 10. That's the maximum. A lot of the classes, according to the owner of the business, has 7 or 6 students per class. On occasions, there may be 10, but not mostly. They're usually less than that. Also, we have private classes there to one-on-one in those same periods.
The same hour.
The same hours, so
Okay.
it really limits the parking right there. Regarding off-site parking, we did a parking study, and we over a whole day and weekends, and it was determined that there were parking spaces. They're available in our 500-foot radius. Maybe not on Ocean View per se, but on Downey Street, on Sunview, on Market Street, all around there. We didn't find a congestion problem whatsoever. So we believe that our project will not put a big impact on the parking on the streets, off-street parking, and that's about it.
Okay. Now, the parking lot improvements. Right. That's it. You're going to have to add some landscaping improvements. So are you going to put in the way that you've shown on the site plan?
Yes.
The owner is going to dig up some pavement, put in some curbing, put in some landscaping, put in some irrigation?
Yes, that's under work right now. We've already started that, and we will maintain the property with the new landscaping. And we also got a building permit to upgrade the building to this. Right now, there
Okay.
are old broken-down garage doors on there, and this is what the building's going to look like if we get approval.
Do we have a copy of that?
No.
Okay. You might want to just give Chris a reduced version or something
will.
of that. Okay. That doesn't affect the decision in any way,
Right.
but it's good to know they're going to improve it.
Beautified, absolutely.
Are you going to have to modify any driveway aprons to make the parking work?
Oh, we do not have
Okay.
to modify.
All right. And the fence is going to come down that's there now?
This will come down in time.
Okay. Right. The pavement's pretty broken up. If I approve this, I'd sure like to put in a condition that says you have to coat it or do something. Otherwise, it's just going to deteriorate even more.
You mean the parking lot itself?
parking lot
It's already
itself.
it's already there. The parking lot it's all concrete.
Yeah, well, it's concrete and asphalt, and it's...
No,
it's,
it's been changed since then. That's the
Oh, it
old-
has?
Yes, it has
Oh,
been.
really?
Yes.
It has?
We have,
You sure about that?
I believe there's concrete there, yes.
You're positive?
Yes, I'm positive.
You get a building permit?
It wasn't required.
That's news to me. Both are news to me.
Well, I met with the planning department, and we went over the parking, and they said flat work was not required. We had to meet with the landscaping requirements for our parking lots, and we did that. We complied.
Doesn't sound right. No. Well, you can deal with Chris after that.
Okay.
I'm surprised to learn that that's all. Huh. Okay. I just amazed that that's happened. Anyway, one way or another, it should be improved. Okay. So basically, the conditions sort of reflect what you're saying and what the applicants propose. The hour-long classes, limit of 10, half hour in between, revised parking lot to stripe it, design it to meet pretty much present code. We'll probably want, what, 2 trees, Chris? As part of the landscaping? Okay. Okay. All right. Chris, am I forgetting anything?
Opposed.
Yeah, obviously they're concerned about additional on-street parking demand. Right, right. Well, if it's really true, they're only going to have 2 employees, and they don't prohibit them from, well, one of the employees...
Sorry. I'm not talking into the
Oh, okay. one of the employees sounds like it's going to be the owner of the business.
Absolutely, she
So
is.
they're
She's
probably
here today to talk
not
about
going to
that.
prohibit themselves from parking on the lot, as a lot of businesses do. So, yeah, it seems like the likelihood of a real parking congestion is rather limited if they operate the way they say they're going to. So, okay.
And we also have parking, we also have classes off-site at parks and so forth for
Yeah,
larger
that-
groups.
yeah,
But
that's-
it doesn't pertain to the
doesn't
site.
pertain
But
to
it
this.
does regarding that the parking lot's empty at that time,
Yeah.
completely empty, because
Yeah.
the business is closed because the employer, she's out at the site, the park.
Somewhere else.
She's somewhere else.
Is this operation in existence anywhere else, or is this a first-time
This is the first stationary,
stationary site?
yes.
Oh, okay. Okay, Mr. Kempton, thank you very much.
Bill, is that your clipboard?
Shannon Pondella?
Hello,
Hello.
my name is Shannon Pondella. I'm actually the owner of Surface Fitness. Just wanted to give some information about the business itself
Okay.
and just some information about the property
Okay.
and why what I'm doing now, I don't think there will be a problem with parking. Basically, Surface Fitness is a unique fitness program for kids of all ages, combining physical fitness and conditioning with learning how to live a healthy lifestyle and the benefits of high-quality nutrition. My mission is to empower the youth of today and tomorrow by coaching them on lifelong benefits of staying physically fit, eating right, and living a healthy lifestyle. With the national concern for childhood inactivity and obesity, high-quality physical fitness programs are essential for kids. With the group classes, private sessions, and sport-specific classes that I offer, they are basically learning the fundamentals of physical activity in an enjoyable and engaging way. As Chris and Bill stated, I offer group classes, private sessions, sport-specific and team training classes. But it is a tailored business. It's not a gym where kids come in and out all day long. People are staying for multiple hours. There's specific classes that they are signed up for with designated class times. These classes are an hour max. Some are shorter with a 30-minute transition period. So cars leave from the previous class. Then for the upcoming class, cars can come. As Bill stated, private classes are one child per class. So per hour, there could be one car plus mine. Right now, I've been doing this for the last year, either at people's homes, at sites where teams are practicing, different recreation areas, and from my knowledge, group classes are either 2 to 10 kids. Obviously, I have a 10-kid max for what I do with them, but majority of parents drop off and pick up. I rarely have parents stay. There may be one or two here and there, but rarely I don't see that happening.
So there's no walk-ins, but I could walk in and set up an appointment.
Right.
Okay.
Yes,
That's
yeah.
the only way.
Yeah, they can't just show up to a class. No,
Okay.
it's designated times
Okay.
so that I know who's coming and how many kids per class are going to be coming in.
Okay.
I've worked for the last 2 years at Fremont Elementary School as their volunteer PE teacher for the lower grades. So majority of the kids in the last year I've worked with are in the local area that go to that school. Kids are very close to the proposed site, which makes it a perfect location for this business. And the property owners have permits and things pending to make the property obviously upgraded and look presentable as it hasn't in the last few years from the business that's been there. So,
Yeah, the parking lot's not what it should have been.
yeah. But
It'll be good to see the
fix it
outdoor
up.
stuff.
Yeah. I also have a petition that was put together from the Montrose Chamber of Commerce. I have 17 signatures of businesses that are within the local area close to the business, signed from business owners. I've explained what I want to do there, how it could affect, how it won't affect. They are in agreement, so I have
You
that.
can give that
also.
to Chris. Thanks.
And that's about it.
That's about it?
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Okay?
you.
Thank you.
Scott Truler, is that correct?
It's Scott
Yep.
Trulick.
Trulick, oh, I'm sorry. Got it. Go ahead.
I'm here under three different circumstances. One, I'm a business owner at 3525 Ocean View. Two, I'm president of the Montrose Verdugo Chamber of Commerce, and I'm president of the Spar Heights District Business Association.
Okay. So how do you feel about this?
We're all for it.
Okay.
As a business owner, parking is a concern on Ocean View. However, based on her business model, I don't think it'll be an issue. Our biggest issue with parking is employers and employees parking in the 2-hour parking all day. That's not this new business.
Right.
The Spar Heights District Business Association's primary concern was beautifying the area, making it more business-friendly and neighbor-friendly. They've already replaced the parking lot with a concrete parking lot.
Oh, that really has been done, huh?
Yes,
Oh,
complete with planters and curbs. It's beautiful compared to what it was. They've stripped the outside of the building, and it looks like they're getting ready to paint and clean that up.
well, they must have done that recently, because I drive by there all the time and
I went up there, I met with you up there.
haven't seen anything. Huh.
I had-
Well,
Okay,
I-
good news.
I can see it from my office.
Okay.
And it's for us, we consider it a blessing in our community because that building has been an eyesore for years, and for them to come in and fix it up and clean it up, we're very happy to see that.
Great.
So the Spar Heights Board of Directors fully supports this. As the Montrose Verdugo Chamber, our executive director was going to be here today, but she was unable to make it. But the chamber supports it as well. We support any business that's going to come in and make the area more beneficial and more environmentally friendly. So the way she's explained her parking situation to me, as she did with you, I don't see it as being a problem. Some of the businesses that did have concerns, I spoke with them personally
Okay.
and explained how she sees her business going. They don't see a problem with it either. And as a matter of fact, some of the people that signed her petition were at first opposed.
Oh, okay.
And once they understood how this was going to work, that it's not a school, it's not a gym where there's going to be a lot of people coming and going constantly, they're in support of it. So,
So hopefully it'll be a successful business model
yes,
to get it off the ground.
yes. So as a business owner and as president of two different business organizations, I'm in favor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And finally, Yolanda Carlson.
Hello,
Hello.
I'm Yolanda Carlson. I'm a business owner, property owner on Ocean View Boulevard. And I've been there for about 22 years, and I've been involved with the Spar Heights District. And I do think for the Spar Heights, it's good that we get somebody like her in and beautify the building. And I do feel since we started to have the 2-hour parking on Ocean View, I don't feel parking is an issue in Ocean View anymore. Cars come and go
Yeah.
more regularly.
Maybe not everybody, but at least
Yeah, I mean, there's
Parking
more
better than it
movement
used to.
going on. Before, like years ago, it was like constantly all the employees would
yeah.
park on the street. But that's since that 2 hour is there and the parking meter guy, I mean, the parking attendant comes around, people are a little bit more aware of it. And I do feel for the Spar Heights, for Ocean View, that would be a beautiful corner. And I do think it should all go.
okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Bill, I guess there's really no need to add anything. I think I got everything. Chris, any last thoughts? I think, okay.
No, I do know that there was a permit issued for the facade.
Facade, yeah.
That, there's a permit, I noted it in the staff report. It's on the
Okay,
cover
anyway,
page.
you can get together
I'll get the rest of the
with
stuff
Bill
and
and
see
get
what's
the rest
going
of the story
Yeah,
on
make
that.
sure everything is all right.
Yeah. Okay, so I will close this case, take it under submission, and then I'll be issuing a decision pretty soon. And with that, it's approximately 10:50, and we are adjourned. Thank you for coming.